Hey everyone, this is episode 90 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is Owen Orange, OSG. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, bro. So we're black today for the funeral because it was quite the weekend with the Dash and the Dynamo losing, and yeah, man, and then just all the rain. Luckily it was only raining when I was driving and not at the game, so it worked out because we have outside seats. Remember that?
Yep.
But
And also
yeah,
Manchester
it was
City,
good,
you know?
man. Oh yeah. Man
Yeah,
City with
yeah.
the win against Chelsea, 1-0.
Yeah, what happened on
Man,
Tuesday, though?
yeah. I hate when games in penalty kicks. It's penalty kicks. I hate the. Wish there was another way to decide, but instead of doing penalty kicks, it's just penalty kicks are just, man. I don't know. Like, can we play like a 3v3 game and minimize the field and no keepers, or 5v5 with keepers, and that's untimed and golden goal or whatever, instead of doing penalty kicks. Like, Jesus. Penalty kicks are annoying, but yeah. So yeah, Madrid with that little win, and they advance, and we'll see what they do with Bayern now. So,
So
but
yeah, I had a blast on Wednesday, and yeah, I actually
yeah,
play a Barcelona for a Clásico in a couple hours, so that's gonna be fun. And
oh
also
yeah,
another game I'm looking forward to today is River Boca, like the Super Clásico from Argentina, and that was gonna be insane
okay,
too. But yeah, lots to talk about.
nice, bro.
Lots to talk about, and not even though Dynamo 2 did not play this weekend, man, a lot of news, not just on the field but off the field, and
Yeah,
I'm sure people cannot wait for the Maria Sanchez conversation.
the
That's gonna
bomb
be
bomb.
the Bombi Bomb, yeah,
We're in
the
the
Bombi
fallout
Bomb,
now. Yeah,
yeah, a lot to discuss there. But
yeah.
first, we're gonna go ahead and get with the Dynamo discussion. Here we do have a clip from OSG and Herman that were back at the game, and they get the points straight. So check it out.
What's up, H-Town and all around OSG, Herman Benitez. This a friggin' pointing, bro. So that there's a lot to talk about, but first, man, that was just Ache returned. Did not end up working out in the end. Falls at 1-0. Herman, thoughts, brother?
Yes, a lot to cover in this episode of Noodle Time.
Yep.
Ache return. Big crowd tonight.
Yep. Tifo.
Tifo. Shout out to the supporters. And then the game itself.
Yeah.
It's a loss, but OSG and Fox got you covered in the analysis.
Yeah, so, man, but it was one of those games where we controlled the game, but weren't getting good shots off, preventing Austin from doing anything really. Austin gets one chance. We talked about it. Who's going to make the first mistake? We make a mistake. They capitalize, and then we can't do nothing. We can't generate no offense. What's there? And you see any tactics that just didn't come through and that weren't executed properly on the field that probably was adjusted, but just didn't fall through.
My good friend, the old soccer guy, says this is the Dynamo way. And I think that's a short and simple way to summarize what happened. In terms of tactics, I think it worked out great.
Yeah.
The Dynamo was dangerous.
Yeah.
The Dynamo produced quality attacks in the second half, I thought. In the first, not so much to my liking.
Yeah.
You'll talk about that later in this episode.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
That's right.
It was 5-5 shots at halftime, and then it ended up 17-7 at the or 18-7 at the end of the game. So obviously Dynamo played the better second half. Austin got the chance. Austin scores, and then here they go with a 1-0 friggin' dub. Hell in the Shell didn't exist, but it sounded good for the most part. But again, the Dynamo way, we can't score friggin' goals.
This stadium was ready to explode.
You said it several times.
And the fans left to the house tonight with wanting to anger. They didn't have the opportunity.
Oh man!
Shout it! This stadium was ready to burst, man.
Yes, dude. It was so ready to blow up. Everybody was ready. We were watching it, looking. We had the videos were ready to go. The Tifo day just meant everything. So, but I guess it's over.
It's over.
It's frustrating. Now we got to get into the episode and deep dive and talk about it and make it more frustrating. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
So,
and we just had an opportunity to talk to Ben and Ache, and both of their mindsets is we dominated this game. We didn't take advantage of the opportunities we have. We move. It's frustrating, but we go back to work.
Yep.
Check out our Instagram page at Dynamic Foxtrot for more content. We'll post these interviews so you can enjoy them.
Yeah, all the time. Just follow. You know where to follow. Follow us all. Dynamico will be out later this week as well. Noodle Time. And then, of course, we'll have instant ramen with our new opponent coming up. But I digress. We got to get into the episode now, I think, and just really get the bullocks going and just cry about it, man. Just freaking cry.
Don't cry. Dallas is coming up.
Yeah.
But before that, OSG is going to break it down for you with Andres coming up next. H's.
Alrighty, so yeah, that was a clip. Houston losing 1-0 at, I'd say, the last minute, and it was still a winnable game, and Austin went in and they did what they had to do. And for me, it was frustrating because I pretty much said it in our conversation with Instant Ramen with the Dependent podcast. If both teams weren't going to be in a good day, it was going to be a low-scoring game. And I did predict the score, but it turned out the other way around. And I'm not happy about it because Houston was still in the game. Like, they had all the chances. They created all of that. And the most frustrating part is that they paid the price for not scoring. And that's just how the game works sometimes.
Our biggest thing, Herman, I mean, obviously we were at the game. You were watching on TV, so I was able to sit there and talk to Herman as we're watching the game. And our biggest takeaway, man, was just the lack of connectability with the passing, and it just seemed like they were off with the chemistry that game. And you would have thought the build-up against Austin, Ache's return, he's on the bench, he's going to get to play. You're feeling better about yourself. The team should be playing better, and it just wasn't clicking. Which is still crazy because you still got 17 shots, and you still got some good shots off. And Stuver was having to make a couple saves, and Austin was had to make some good sliding blocks so. Austin did their part. And it was just, as we talked about at halftime as well, who's going to make the first mistake? Because going into halftime at 0-0, who's going to make the first mistake? And it wasn't necessarily quite such a mistake. It was just marking was horrible and there was no pace to get back. And boom, they get that 1-0 win late instead of us getting the 1-0 win late. And I'm the miserable drive home instead of the bus riders with the miserable drive home. Luckily, it was raining pretty hard all the way home, so I had to focus and not get distracted by the miserable outcome of the game.
Right. And yeah, with that, I guess we can go through the lineup. And obviously, the main highlight is that Ache made his return to the bench. And eventually he will go ahead and get something in the second half. This was a big one. In my opinion, I didn't have like the biggest expectations of him because he hasn't played a game in like 4 months. And it takes time to get adjusted. Even though he was the MVP last year and not playing with a full 90 minutes with the team consistently is going to affect you. And it's going to take time to get adjusted. And we did see some flashes when he came in, but obviously, I didn't have like those high expectations from the get go.
And yeah, you don't know what you're going to get back after being off that long. And he did look normal to me as when he was playing on the field. He looked so he's going to fit right back in. And I don't think he'll ever be 90-minute fit. So it's funny. So because we do leave him in for the 90 minutes sometimes. So I think he'll be ready to start here pretty soon, if not the next game, and get back into the play of game. And then you saw from Herman's interview after the game, he's so geeky and like in love with the Coco, man. He enjoys playing soccer with Coco Carrasquilla, and it's funny. So y'all listening, if you haven't seen it, go to Noodle Time on Twitter or X, even on Dynamic Foxtrot on Instagram, and you'll find the interview there, and you'll just the lovey-dovey eyes that he just gets when the question is asked, and it's funny. It's just
Yeah.
hilarious, man.
And also a couple updates from the lineup. We do have Sebastian Ferreira back on the bench, and the two players that we had missing for this game were Escobar. He was listed as questionable before this game, and also Eric Svechenko, which was listed as out with a foot injury. So obviously a couple important losses, particularly Escobar, because I feel like Eric Svechenko, either Barlow or Mikael are going to take over. And as we all know, they're pretty consistent about it. And yeah, I felt like I feel like the loss of Escobar was going to be like big for this game.
Yeah, you seen that how much we needed him, and it's kind of good that we wasn't there technically because we could have gone down a man, and Austin could have won the game 2-0, 3-0 because Coco was trying to get a second yellow card and just wasn't getting caught.
Yeah,
So Escobar in this situation, as chippy as the match was to begin with, he definitely and he was at the stadium, so he was there supporting the team. Did see him after the game. He looks fine to me, so I don't know what his actual injury is. He was walking fine. So hopefully, he'll be back soon. But maybe you're right. Versus Austin, maybe even versus Dallas. Maybe we need him versus Dallas, and if he gets a red, he gets a red. Hopefully, we're up 2-0 by that point. But yeah, he can be a dangerous player, so you got to pick your poison. So yeah, we could have used his butt, and especially the way Dorsey's just running out of gas and giving up towards the ends. He's just yeah. Escobar could have been needed instead of Tate Schmidt having to come in. Could have been some relief going on over there. Steris could have came over, and Tate could have went to the left. I'm surprised that switch wasn't made. But yeah, anyways, I digress. So, anyways.
and you mentioned something pretty important, and I didn't want to get into it because I hate it. I hate the conversation around Griffin Dorsey, but it makes sense because for the past few games, he just seems disconnected. Like he just seems out of it, and for me, like at some point, if this keeps up, we're gonna have to do something about it in terms of having to switch him around because, man, I don't see him in games as much as he was last year. And granted, we're still starting the season, but at the same time, he has to step it up. Like otherwise, someone else in the bench is gonna take care of him.
Well, the league has caught on to him, and the Dynamo haven't adjusted to be able to open that space back up to him because the lack of striker and the lack of scoring we have. Teams are not scared to pack the middle. Are not worried about packing the middle. Sorry, they can focus and spread out their defense a little bit more typically than a compact team would against us when they're they're like, hey, we're okay. Let's take out some other threats right now until they start becoming a threat down the middle. And right now we're not a threat down the middle, and it sucks to say that because you see all the opportunities that we get and the buildup that we get, and it just nothing comes of it. Even the crosses, we're not even getting headers off the crosses or quick one-touch shots off the crosses. We're not getting any. Nothing's working right now in the final third at friggin' all.
Yep.
And you had a striker at the end of the game playing up there, so and you still couldn't make adjustments correctly. So it was a struggle of a game to watch.
Yeah, and just to segue into the game, I feel like this game doesn't require like a lot of in-depth analysis, but I can tell you like for the first half and the second half before the goal came in, like Houston Houston had the chance to score, and Austin was extremely patient when it came to just trying to hold down the fort and trying to look for a break to capitalize on that. And for them, it worked. It also worked for us. But you mentioned the fact that like the chances from the middle didn't come in either consistently, or there weren't any clear opportunities to score from there, or from each end, like from the wings. And and that's the frustrating part because I feel like whenever there was a run from the middle or a run from one of the ends, I feel like every single time they're just looking to make the perfect pass instead of just shooting at the right time, because sometimes you have to take a stab to it. Granted, Dorsey did do this a couple times in the game, but those just flew out.
Yeah.
and and the thing that I feel like it just made me angry the most was just like them keeping up with the passing. They made some insane passes, by the way, just to like try to get inside the box, but nobody shot. Like they just tried to look for like the most insane pass you will make on FIFA, you know. And and yeah, like it for me, I was frustrated because like guys, we're playing so well, but please shoot the ball. Come on.
There were so many opportunities where shoot, 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 and then even after it happened, the crowd would get shoot. You could hear
Yeah.
the shoot coming on, and like even talking to Herman during the game, like you could hear the frustration between us. We're like shoot, shoot, and you expect a shot, and then the shot doesn't come, and it's an extra move. Coco a couple times getting into the box and takes an extra touch. Like shoot, I mean, don't be afraid to shoot with your weak foot, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Y'all got to shoot when the opportunity's there, and quit. Just do it too fancy, too much work trying to get back on their good foot. Just not trusting their bad foot. So whatever, but they're going to have to make that adjustment, or we're going to continue to play these stupid games. Who's going to score last is going to win, 1-0 or 2-1. The Dynamo way.
And credit to Aliyu because he did shoot a few times in this game and could have scored a couple, but
Yeah,
like either those went straight to the keeper, and Stewart made some good saves, by the way, but still,
yeah.
like his shots just went straight to the keeper, and a tip was made.
Hey, I mean, yeah, Aliyu was probably the only the bright spot in the attack who did take some opportunities, some good opportunities, because we had 17 or 18 shots at the end of the game. How many were on target? I'm not going to trust that stat, but Aliyu probably had the most on target and then the best shots and the best opportunities. Like I said, Stuber made a great save. I think one of their defenders made a sliding block where it went out for a corner. So yeah. And Aliyu keep doing Aliyu things, and as long as he doesn't run out of gas right now, it's nice. We're not playing weekday games, so it works out. So just play your team, play your best 11, work some players in. Might have some players coming in. I'm sure we'll talk about later, but it's and good job Blessing covering and doing his part. So the Dynamo way. It's the Dynamo way. You control the game, you possess the game, you win the shots, you outpass the opponent, you look like the better team, and you let them hang in there, and this one gets a win. And one of the worst ones to get the win, But like you said earlier, shout out to the Verde Pendant podcast who came on with us last week on Instant Ramen, and they got the win. They predicted a win. Of course, they predicted a win, but they got the win. So I'm sure their ride back home was a nice one, even though it was probably raining. But they probably had a group of people to hang out with. But whatever, enough of them.
Yeah, and just before we get done with the game discussion, the one thing that just seems pretty obvious when it comes to teams capitalizing on Houston is just the fact that they're gonna look for the counter, and they're gonna try to stay patient and not freak out when Houston just start pressing up forward. Because the one thing I've been noticing, especially for teams like Austin, is just they're gonna rely on the counter, and they're gonna rely on catching Houston flat-footed. That's what happened this game. And just off the goal kick sequence, Houston was just not prepared to receive a pretty fast goal kick that was intercepted by one of their players to send, I believe it was Rigonia forward.
Yeah,
and yeah, like it was a depressing chance to concede because it was at the 86th minute, pretty late into the game, pretty late to do something about it. And yeah, you cannot do that. You have to be. You gotta stay in the game for 90 minutes plus.
CJ Fodry with the assist that sent that ball to Rigoni before Rigoni scored. CJ Fodry was also the Austin FC 2 guy who got the game winner when Austin beat Dynados 1-0 about a month ago at SaberCat Stadium. And so Austin liked that player. They recently drafted him, and here he goes. He's been involved in 2 games against us already. For one with the Dose side and one on the first team side. So yeah, good kid, good job, whatever. But yeah, that was lackadaisical for our defenders not to be ready on that, and then you don't have the pace to get back and catch up to Rigoni. They played it right. They deserved the goal,
Yep.
and it sucks
And
because it came that late, and you know that was the finishing one right there. We don't have enough time. I mean, we had enough time. We don't have the attack to do it.
yeah, just like I said in the beginning, they pay the price for the waste
Yep.
opportunities.
Yep.
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 One or nothing lost right there.
Here we are again, the Dynamo way. Gosh.
All right, so with that, we'll get to the Dynamo news just to get happy, excited.
All right, something to be positive about.
Yeah. So this week it was announced that Ben Olsen did sign an extension to stay with the Dynamo for the next 2 years through the 2026 season, and I mean, expected. No surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, well, I get it. Maybe it is kind of a surprise, not in a sense that he's doing his job and he deserves the extension. In the sense that he took a 2 years off after being in DC for 10 years. He comes here. How long? What was his tenure? What was his expectation? What was his plans? What did he really know? Was he just going day to day? And so this extension shows that he is really here to build the project and trust the process, and he's liking, which means he's also enjoying what the front office is doing at the same time. So that's a good sign, and we all know what Ben is doing for us, and we appreciate what Ben is bringing to the club, and can't go wrong with the guy. So yeah, big shout out to Ben Olsen and getting that extension, and well deserved, and which means we're going to stay on track to staying in the positive side of things and the wins, and stay out of that turmoil of the 10 years of BS.
Yeah, and still a lot of work to do, especially when it comes to getting a player that really affects the game, designated player maybe. But we may have to wait until the end of the season for that. But yeah, I mean, like, you can't say no to that, especially after winning the Open Cup and playoffs in his first year. So, welcome back, sir.
Welcome back. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sign the contract.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're gonna believe me on this, but we actually got some signings in the works.
In the works, yeah, in the works.
And one already done and a done deal, and the other one also almost done deal. Both haven't been announced yet, but the one we got 2 players coming in right before the transfer window, MLS transfer window closes on Tuesday. So the one that was announced first, well, the one that was the news just broken out first was from Glenn Davis when he mentioned that the move for Ecuadorian defensive midfielder Jefferson Valverde is pretty much completed. And this was news for like the past month or so that the Dynamo were trying to bring him in, and it looks like that's over the line now. We may have to see the announcement probably next week. And also, the one that nobody really expected up until this point was the Dynamo trading with Nashville SC to acquire winger Mackenzie Gaines for GAM. And we still don't know. We don't have a lot of details about that, but I'm sure that's going to be officially announced next week as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. One is to give Arthur some relief, so he doesn't have to play 90 minutes of every freaking game, because obviously Reigns is not going to be that guy. So it's going to possibly be Valverde, which will be, I guess, good. So he'll get some playing time. He'll be in a backup role. If Ache goes down again, he might see some role. You still have Blessing. You still have Grey Goose. So it's just another fit for the midfield depth. Hopefully it'll be a good fit, and he'll be utilized. As far as Gaines, we'll see where he fits and what he can do. He'll probably be just some relief for Aliyu, and we'll see what happens. Which is also proof, as I say before, that Exxon will not get a call up this season, and he will be on dose for the entirety of the season. So you heard it here. We'll believe it all season, whether you like it or not. But
Hot
like you
take of
said,
the year.
I wouldn't call it a hot take.
No,
It's a,
it's not even hot.
yeah, it's just more of a take and just a more of a
Yeah.
just a perception I see from my side of the the orange sunglasses here. It's like a great player, but I just don't. They're not preparing him yet for the first team. So until they start doing that, he's not coming to the first team. And again, this is just an inkling to confirming that inkling too. So bring in a player when you have a player, but you don't need a player, but you have a player. So let's bring in a player. So yeah, it's okay. Build the player, keep building them up, and then bring him to the first team next year after he has a good year at Dose, and let him rock. But that's my thoughts.
And with
Yeah,
that,
we'll see what happens whenever they get officially signed, and we'll go into maybe some more detail about them.
yeah, and we're probably gonna get into detail with that next week as soon as it is officially
Right.
announced. But I
Right.
guess we can go ahead and start closing out with the scoreboard in MLS.
Do we need to even just say our score? Hell no, we'll just skip it, bro. All right. Well, start of the day: NYC DC 2-0, Montreal Orlando 2-2, Miami Nashville 3-1. Messi with 2 friggin' goals. He's at 7 already for the season. Somebody just don't let him shoot. Columbus Portland 2-2. Atlanta, Cincinnati. Cincinnati gets back on track with a win, 2-1. Toronto, New England back on track and loses again, 1-0. Toronto. Sporting KC and St. Louis, dude, 3-3. I heard about this game. Went back and forth, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. What a crazy game! What a crazy game in Sporting KC, 3-1. Then of course our game, and then God. Chicago Fire, who's been looking good, get their butts kicked by Real Salt Lake 4-0 in Chicago. Our upcoming opponent, FC Frisco, South Oklahoma, North Texas Tollway, lost to Colorado 2-1 in Colorado. So
Damn. Imagine listening to Colorado on the road.
Just imagine being FC Frisco, North Texas Toll Road, South Oklahoma, man. Jeez. Same time, imagine being the Dynamo right now and losing to friggin' Aston. So got the broccoli all over our faces right now. Seattle continues their ways, man. They lost at home to Vancouver 2-0. Amazing.
What is going on
Seattle,
there? What is going on there?
They let some players go in the off season, and now everything else is going with it, and they're just still tied to the team. So that's where the L comes in the loss column. So nuts, bro. LA and New York Red Bulls 2-2. Today, as we record on Sunday, you still have Charlotte and Minnesota United to play, and LA Galaxy and San Jose Earthquake. That sets the table up with in the Eastern Conference. Miami is just taking over. They're in the lead with 18. The Red Bulls with 16. Cincinnati with 15. Red Bulls and Cincinnati both have a game in hand still, so they can pass up into Miami. That's the New England Revolution. They're just really bad. 1-6-1, -9 goal differential. All right, the West. Vancouver is in first again with 16 points. RSL with that big win moves up 15 points. Galaxy 15 points. Colorado 15 points. We fall to fifth to 13 points. So not a big hit. But some teams that were behind us with those wins, man, it was able to jump, and Austin moved into seventh now with 12 points, and then down there at the very bottom, FC Dallas and San Jose and Seattle all fighting for the crap of the Western Conference right now. So I talk crap about them, but we'll see who they're our next opponent. But obviously, you can't win them all. But that's your MLS roundup. You have anything you'd like to say on that? The standings or any games you want to comment on before we fly out?
Yeah, like when it comes to standings this early in the season, there's not a lot to talk about. But I think it's just that you're just looking between a fifth place and first place. We're only behind by 3 points, and I feel like the Western Conference this year is going to be tight. So
yeah,
this year's going to be weird. 100%.
I like mentioning them because as you listen to the show, or listeners that listen to the show throughout the season can go back and remember. Oh, I kind of remember. So like when you see that fluctuation chart of where your team went through the season, well, you hit it. You heard it right here, possibly with if with the rest of the teams. But you see what's the top, and you see who's on the bottom, and we might see what changes throughout the season. So yeah, you're right. Those standings are still harsh, and it goes down to decision day anyways for the most part. So just get some wins in there and make sure that you're playing competitive soccer, and you'll be fine right now. You're not trying to get in the realm of New England and San Jose, or even FC Dallas is like probably surprised what's going on over there. But man, I guess we move. Are you ready to hop on the jet with me? And I guess let's go out to Portland. I know we're not really ready,
Yeah.
but are you?
Well, it's not a jet, but it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is. It is a friggin' roller coaster. So as we transition into friggin' Houston Dash episode segment, whatever. Let's just start with the news because we're all suffering from the fallout, the radiation. We all had to go underground for a minute and scream so that we didn't disturb the peace. But the bomb was dropped.
Yep.
It has come through. I'm pretty sure you've got something to say on that. But she was traded to San Diego Wave in exchange. I know you've got the numbers right there in front of you. So, man, what do you think about the bomb, man?
Well, I can just go ahead and start you saying that this was a terrible week for the Houston Dash as an organization on and off the field. And when it comes to the Maria Sanchez situation, it definitely leaves a lot of questions for me and fans that just follow the team closely because obviously they brought in Fran Alonso recently, and pretty much the white elephant room is the fact that she signed an extension 3 months ago. And she comes in late March and requests a trade out of the club. And just to give you a timeline, and as I mentioned before, she did sign an extension with the Dash before the season started about 3 months ago, and she pretty much just became one of the highest paid players in the league, which just shows that there's an amount of investment and a lot of trust being placed on her. And it's pretty clear that when she signed it, she intended to stay here for a while. And I think Theo was one of the first guys that broke the news first, but the news broke out this week that Maria Sanchez did request to get transferred to another club before deadline day, and Maria Sanchez also posted a statement on her Twitter account with pretty much just to confirm that. And in the statement itself, she did say that she requested a trade out of the club since late March, and just to quote her, and my expectations and reasons have been clear. And for like just taking all that into consideration, there's obviously a disconnect, but the thing that worries me a lot is just the fact that if this is on Houston's end, there was not a lot of foresight in place when we're renewing her contract, because if there's something that happened because either she didn't work out, obviously that's something bad. But on Maria Sanchez's side, did she regret signing it? Did she see interest from somewhere else? So did she want to move to another club because of the way that things are going in Houston? For me, it's just extremely disappointing on both sides. This is gonna hurt a lot. This pretty much altogether looks pretty bad at Alex Singer, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go. We don't know nothing behind the scenes right now. We just know she was frustrated. She was just so. I'm sure details will come out. What really happened behind the scenes and what the whole frustration was. So I'm not going to say you never know, but so we'll figure it out. We'll see if we get anything that we're privy to. Obviously, we'll find the report and we'll let y'all know if there's an actual reason. Is there something to be for fans to be concerned about behind the scene? Obviously, Maria Sanchez being a fan favorite has got people now. Talking about Alex Singer in the front office and the moves that they're making and the concerns and the frustration, and of course, when the team is losing, that just adds fuel to the fire. So, it's probably a move that just needed to be made, especially when a player does request it. Now, as far as the contract, did she know at the time? She probably had an inkling to it, and something happened afterwards that just kind of set the bar and said, "Hey, okay, I really don't like it here. I want to go." So, and the contract goes with her as long as she's still in the NWSL. So, yeah, sign the damn contract, $1.3 million or whatever it was. If I get traded, the contract comes with me. I'm still getting paid. So, well, yeah, I worked for this contract. So, still worked for the contract, but I think she still had a little chance in her mind that she was going to, stick around and ride it out. And then her mind changed, or she may have known before, and she just worked for that contract, said, "Give me the money," and said, "Hey, by the way, thanks. Trade, please."
Thanks for no
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah. So that's why we say let's wait and find out, because this could be on the player, this could be on Alex Singer. So it could, you want to blame the front office before you blame the player. Of course, Maria Sanchez is such a likable person as well, but did she give up? What was it? But anyways, that's the bomb, man. So, but for her, it was. And I'm not going to differentiate between the GAM and TAM situation that the NWSL used, because it's GAM and some intra league or whatever the hell money. But so we got 500 in return, an international spot for 24 and an international spot for 25 in the trade for Maria Sanchez going out to San Diego. So 500, yes, I'm happy with. Boom, that's a good fee. And the international spot, especially with all these internationals we're bringing in, was probably a necessity. I don't know if that was to cover somebody already here, which was most likely my guess, or is it for a player incoming still to be seen? I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any insight to that?
Well, the one thing I'm okay with is the fact that they got something in return, because they barely had leverage in this trade. So
Yeah,
cool.
for real.
And
yeah.
When it comes to insights, I'm still not sure. Like, everything that happens in NWSL is done in the darkness, and
Right.
it's hard to follow stuff if you're not like hardcore following it, like like one of those speed reporters in the league. So
yeah,
it could be either or, but it's good that they got something in return. But yeah, Alex Singer has a lot of questions to answer for this year.
All right, well, we got our gas mask on still while the radiation kind of blows away and the air freshens up. So the bomb definitely hurt. The fans are hurt right now. The losses are hurting. So we'll see as time goes if we continue to bleed or what. But also prior to this game, Emily Alvarado, backup goalkeeper for the Houston Dash, was traded to the Portland Thorns for 85 money. We'll call it 85 monopoly money. 85 monopoly money. And it was declared that she would not be available to play this match. So that was part of the deal. So she can't be traded to Portland and be like, "Hey, you start, by the way," and then saves the game and beats us. But so she will be over there. You saw the keeper last night for Portland, so I don't know what their role is with Alvarado over there. They'll probably use her split role. Would be the only reason I think they would even go after her, because as you saw from last week, Fox reported that we signed Hines as a keeper, so now we have 3 keepers instead of 4. You definitely don't need 4, so somebody had to go, and it ended up being Emily Alvarado. Unfortunately, I liked Alvarado, so now that's 2/3 of the Mexican national team out the door. We're down to 1.
Yep.
and one
they,
one that Ron really likes.
Yeah, and Houston, they receive up to $50,000 in intra-league transfer funds or allocation money, and this from the quote from the Dash, if certain performance metrics are met. So that amount can change, but yeah, we have to get rid of a keeper, as OSG said.
And there's 35 of something. Yeah, it was 50 and 35. So whatever the 35 is, who knows? That's why I said it's just all monopoly money.
Yeah.
And we were begging for defensive help and wondering where the defensive help was coming, and it finally came in Paige Nielsen. And actually, Paige Nielsen, she's here, but she may not be. She wasn't available, obviously. But Paige Nielsen from Angel City, and I'm going to call it. It's just a straight up trade for 100 monopoly money and a defender, big defender. And I have some thoughts on her, but I'll let you go first on Paige Nielsen.
When you that experience, the one thing I'm gonna have to see it to believe is the fact that her size, just like 5'5", is gonna be. It could be bad on certain occasions since her frame is not like it's not ideal for defenders. But with that experience, I have to wait and see.
I like what I've seen from her so far. Obviously, yet she's to play here, but she looks good. So Angel City is 2 years in, or now their third season into their existence. They expansion picked her up from how did I forget where she came from before that? So, anyways, it's in the news in the press release. But so Angel City got there in the expansion draft, and she's been a starter. She's playing full time. She's a little brute soccer player. She is not afraid to get down and play soccer. You'll see her make slide tackles. She's strong. She's gritty. So I'm looking to her once we get everything set, and that she'll be playing next side to Natalie Jacobs. I'm yet to see what we'll do with Sophie Schmidt once we have a healthy defensive line and everybody's playing back there. So this Nielsen, I like this pickup, but like I said, yet to see her, come in and play for us, and where we'll use her at. But I like her just from the highlights I see from her. But did you see where she came from before Angel City?
Yeah, she was with the Washington Spirit, and
That's
she was picked up in the expansion draft by Angel City. But yeah,
won the title with Washington Spirit, and then got expansion drafted. So, wow, I'd be like, man, how do I win a title and then go to expansion draft team? But Angel City's fun, LA, I guess. So you really can't complain, man. And again, let's remind her Ramona Bachman is with the team, but she became ill during practice. She did train with the team all well and was in the plans to play this weekend, but did become ill, so she was scratched and kept off the roster for this match. So expect to see her in the next game. Reminder: Jacobs, who went out with the concussion, I believe it's the hip again. Is back to her hip injury that she previously had, so she was kept out of this game as well. And then, man, you like this player, so I'll let you break the bad news with this one.
I was gonna get to the good news, but
okay, yeah,
but yeah, I can start. We can start with the bad news first. But
yeah. Go with the bad, and then roll us into some good.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Kiki Van Satten is out for the rest of the season with a foot injury. She suffered against Washington Spirit, like our last home game, and like OSG and I would see her get out of the stadium like on a cast and with and her crew, and she looked pretty sad. And I was hoping not for the worst, but unfortunately, she's gonna be missing the rest of the year, which is just sad, especially for her first year in the league and just seeing minutes. And she was promising too, but unfortunately, I'll stand able to take it like this, man. I feel bad for her.
Yeah, that was sad when we saw her coming out the locker room, and you're like, well, all right, so she's going to be out a couple months, and then to find out she's out for the season. So that's just terrible news. And like you said, she's a rookie, so get your shot. So hopefully she has a healthy and strong recovery and does her rehab properly and gets at it so she can come back even stronger and be a beast, because she did have potential. So hopefully she does come back strong. But man, all that news talk, why don't we just jump into the friggin' game that we lost?
Almost. We still have one more news and the good news.
No, one more in the good. Which one did I leave out? Uh-oh.
the rumor for the Brazilian defender that Dash
Oh
trying to
yeah,
bring in,
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Tarciane.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Bring it in, bring it in. Yeah, the
yeah.
transfer. Yeah, because yeah, I sorry, it blew my mind because I'm still trying to. I don't know whether if that's what's gonna happen or not. But yeah, Foxman, take us into that news right there and make me
No, yeah,
believe it's gonna happen.
no, yeah. The timing of it's not clear because the transfer window in NWSL just closed. But Theo, our good friend Theo Lloyd Hughes did break out the news that the Dash are trying to sign Brazilian defender Tarciane from Corinthians back in Brazil, and apparently they're gonna try to pay a transfer fee of $600,000 to bring her in. And obviously, defender, I'll take her 100%,
Mm.
and she looks very promising as far as I've seen. And and like I said, the only question is about the timing because if the transfer did make it over the line, we might hear about it pretty soon. But if it didn't, then we're gonna have to wait until the I believe there's a secondary transfer window if I'm not mistaken around August. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait
Well,
for that.
we're pretty sure from what we were hearing the night of the deadline that there was another one that made it across and there was no details
Okay.
behind it, no inkling to who it was or anything like that. It was just a defender. So uh, the person who I was talking to, I'm pretty sure this is probably that person who it ends up being. So I'm thinking it's across the line, and they just got to finalize details before things are released. So I'm hoping you're right, and if like you said, defender to come in and help, much needed defender. And then finally we'll have some depth over there, and you can play around it, man, and finally maybe Fran can get to work, and
Finally.
not that he's working right now, but what I meant work is in transition into some wins, but yeah, so that'll be a good one. So I hope that one becomes sooner than later. Obviously, if it's across the line, it's gonna be very soon, and that'll be what that international spot was for this year and next year. Would be most likely for this player. So we'll see if it's a loan or if it's just you said a transfer, so it'll be a transfer 600 G. So yeah, it'll definitely be 2 years, probably with some options, and we'll figure out that international when that time comes later. But yeah. All right, so that was the good news. Are y'all ready for the turmoil and the roller coaster, the sickness into the stomach, the what was a 4-1 defeat to the Portland Thorns in your for us here in Central Texas for your late night snack? It was disgusting. Nah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, but 4-1, bro. And the Donetsk goal, nice build up, nice work from the team. Patterson looking good, and then the West heading the ball back to the middle. Ordonez with her goal, nice goal. The 4 goals we gave up, 2 of those shouldn't have happened. 2 of those they get credit for. 2 of those were just stupid mistakes again, and we gave up 2 more goals. And Jane Campbell can't do nothing about it, man. So 4-1. Let's get into the game. Fox, your thoughts, man.
Well, defenses fell flat, and it was pretty evident in the first goal, which came in after 6 minutes. It granted, this game we did see players play out of the position, but still, like the defense, just seemed like disconnected from the game, and Portland just capitalized on that 4 times, and it will be pretty evident towards the end of the game. But I did see the one thing I can, or like if you can call it silver lining. I feel like defensively Houston was trying to get adjusted. I'd say like towards the middle of the game, right around where when Diana Ordonez scored that goal, but the game was put away way too early, and the Dash like just going back to the defense, like it was just all over the place. Giveaways were really just obnoxious, and and in some instances too, the Dash were just outpaced a lot, and for me, it worries me a lot heading to the year.
Yeah, and you kind of you said it. It's worrisome. It's worrisome. It's the 4-1 defeat, the way you lose, the team getting flat towards the end, just the simple mistakes. Like you said, players playing out of position or in different positions than they've played in before. So it's just we're still playing with the roster, still playing with the players, still trying to figure out what fits best and what works best. And as long as the fans understand what's really going on, uh, they won't throw themselves off a 2-foot bridge. So they just gotta please be patient, guys. It is a work in progress. Not trust the process this time. This is a work in progress, a big work in progress. But let me run through the lineup real quick, and then
Yeah.
there's a lot to talk about with this lineup because you've already mentioned it. Players out of position, players in different positions, players all over the place. It was kind of, I felt like you put 11 die into a cup and then threw them onto the board, and that's where you playing. Luckily, the die for Jane Campbell ended up in the goal, so she got to play her actual position. So Jane Campbell, we'll just start with her, period, and then we'll get into the lineup. Again, Jane Campbell being Jane Campbell, making the saves that she makes, putting herself in all the opportunities. Made a stave on that first one, but the rebound was straight to uh, uh, forget her name. Hold on, I got it right here. As a matter of fact, Sinclair, straight to Sinclair to put it in 6 minutes into the match, and you're like, oh crap, come on, bro. I'm still watching the Dynamo game, and I get the update, the Dasher scored on them. I was like, God damn,
Yep.
man, right off the
Five
friggin' bat.
saves for Jane Campbell. 5 saves, and even though she got 4 goals scored past her, like I said, not her fault.
Yeah,
She still got those 5 saves, and it's just once again the reason why she's probably one
yeah,
of the best players in the team's history, if not the best player. And
yeah.
yeah,
And the captain,
and the captain, of course.
and the freaking captain. So, all right, let's run through the lineup. 3-4-1-2 again. It's a little, and here we are. Where it'll be scrambled. So, pay attention, y'all. If I say the player's name in the position, it is correct. I didn't make a mistake this time. This is how they played. So, I mean, like if you watch the game and you're just kind of just watching but not paying attention, yes, those players were different players. So, left back, your back three was Patterson this time, Puttingham as the center back, and Schmidt as the right back. Moving into the midfield, Peterson, who switched with Patterson, switched roles with Patterson. Rubinson, Sophie Hurst, Alozia on the right, and Ordonez as the cam. And then you had West and Barb Oliveri as your 2 forwards. So a lot of oddities right there, as you probably heard. So, Fox, let's go back to the defensive line and let's start right there. Get Patterson on the left, Puttingham at the middle, Schmidt at right. Puttingham in the middle, center back. Questions? Was that I see it right there. Let me hear it, bro.
Man, putting Emma Schmidt. Like, granted, Sophie Schmidt is just playing out of position again, but man, it's just hurts to watch out every time. Like they just they're in the wrong side of the ball. Well, not on the wrong side, but rather they just they just get themselves into situations where they're just beat sometimes, and the opponent just goes past them, and I'm like, yo, please.
Yeah. It looks so confusing and lost right there, and it was something to try out, which I don't get. The defensive help coming in. Jacobs needs to get past her injury and come in and help, but Puttingham, she really did a okay job in this game until she made that mistake at the end. I believe it was the 4th goal where Smith was able to steal it from her and then just take on Jane Campbell by herself and get that 4th goal. And and that was, third goal. Sorry, third goal to put the game officially away, make it 3-1 in the 86th minute. So it was just, it's just confusing, but we get it because there's no defense right now. Katie Lynn is just a huge necessity, and you're not going to see her at all. So Schmidt, dog, she is a dog, or she plays. She gives it everything. It doesn't matter where you put her at. She was gritty. She hustled. She put herself everywhere. She gave it a 100% on her.
She's
Go
a
ahead.
tripper, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So Patterson on the left switched with Peterson this time, and that I think that was something Fran just wanted to try out and see if she could play that left back position, and it did show early because that Sinclair goal, it was Patterson who was marking, and Patterson was ball watching and didn't see the player technically sneak up behind her. She knew she was there, but she didn't. She needs to be closer. That's when that's definitely when you're marking the player, making the runs, and you're not ball watching. And she got caught, and that's how the first goal. So, but otherwise, in Patterson, I am a Patterson fan now. I was a
Me
fan
too.
already, but I think I'm on board with her. I like what she does. I like what she brings. I like her energy. The final decision will improve. So that's her biggest negative right now is her final decision is a
Yeah.
50-50 toss-up. Is she going to lose the ball? Is she going to kick it out of bounds? Is she going to make a nice move? And you're like, okay, cool. I like this girl. So good to work out. Any final thoughts on the back line before we move into the midfield?
For the back line, I felt like you just hit in the nail for the most part, and yeah, like it's just a matter of getting those signings in to stop putting players to play out of position, and
Yeah.
then get to work with this project because it's patience is running thin for us.
And I guess Jalissa Harris isn't good enough in the coach's eye to even look at the field because I thought she was a decent player, and she looked well during preseason. So why she's not even looking at the field or seeing the field because you're playing with these defenders and putting them here and there. She's one of them that you could use. So I don't know what's going on there, but
Yeah,
Jalissa Harris, if you're listening, we wish you were on the field. So hopefully you'll get some playing time soon. All right, let's move into that odd looking five midfield, and we'll start with the two easy ones. The two CDMs is Rubinson stays right there. She looks like she's going to be a mainstay right there for now, at least until other players come in and we find out what their roles are. So Rubinson, I think she played the entire 90. Yeah, she played the entire 90 minutes as well. Sophie Hurst gets her first start, plays 84 friggin' minutes, and plays a long game, but she didn't really stand out during the game, didn't do anything. So I think she just did enough to stay on the field. But two CDMs. On your left, like we said, was Peterson, who switched with Patterson. And that was, I think, until early second half is before they switched back and they switched each other's positions. And then Alozia, she started on the right side. And then I think it was the start of the second half where she moved to striker. And then Ordonez playing the cam again with West, who is your striker or your forward up top, and then Barb Oliveri, who is your other right forward, bro. I mean, so Peterson, we understand. Switch with Patterson, we understand what's going on right there with Fran. Let's just try him out. Okay, understood. Rubinson, Hurst gets her first start. She played in her position, so we understand that one. Alozia on that right, we understand why she's playing right there.
yeah.
Ordonez the cam, and I think she was asked this last night too in the interview process after the game, I believe. I'm pretty sure, but playing that cam role, or maybe I heard it on the TV last night. But she is a 9, but I think she's integrating into that cam position and just adapting her game and opening up her eyes to more broader scope of the game. Is in your eyes right now, Ordonez 5 goals into the season, I believe it is 4 goals into the season now. Is she working out playing that position? Because it seems that's where she's going to be.
Ordonez, I believe she has 3 goals just based on in the statement from the Dash. She's marked as 3 goals, but
She scored
still,
last night.
I feel like she did. But is it 3 or 4?
I'm looking right now.
Because
it's only 3. You're right. Yep. Damn.
Oh, yeah, I just want to double check,
3.
but because
5
sometimes there may be a
games,
typo.
3 goals.
But yeah. Let's just double checking. But yeah, she's still a threat for us. She's probably the biggest threat that we have right now, and I just hoping that her and LOC can get more time together because I feel like things can flourish in the right circumstances, and if we start building up correctly. Because the thing that really killed us here is just like the only build-ups that we've done are just like the through balls that we try to send to the wings and then try to cross the ball to see what happens. It's not working properly, and we didn't see the dash at all. except for that goal that Diana was able to get in at the start of the second half. And that one of the highlights for me for this game, I'd say it was Robinson and Patterson, like we just mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They had some decent games. The game, like I said early, the game was put away too early, and they didn't get a lot more time to shine. And yeah, also shout out to Bar for starting. That's awesome news always.
Man, I cannot wait till we fix our D line so it's Rubinson and Schmidt side by side. Rubinson and Schmidt side by side is the two CDMs right there.
Oh, yeah.
I want to. I want to see that. So fix our back line, and then the up top playing next to West. I don't think it'll be Barb next week. It's gonna be Ramona Bachman who's gonna get that start up there. Maybe not the start, but hopefully she does get the start because, like I said, she was practicing all week, integrated into the team, and was ready to get some time this weekend. So maybe she'll get a start, and you're gonna y'all if you haven't seen her, you're gonna like this player as well. So there's a lot of potential out there. We just got to get them in to where all of them are playing at the same time. Nobody's missing, and get them and just put the lineup together, the roster together. Right? You still had Andres on the bench last night as well, who came in late and didn't get to play. As far as the other bench players, there's nothing too special. I mean, you had Kiki Kaiser, who came off the bench, but I don't really rate her high. You have Yuki as well. I don't rate her high either. She hasn't really performed to a high standard right now, and that's what we need. Belle Breed, she's been okay, but nothing out of the way. And like Jalissa Harris, Havana Salon with that one game winner, the only game winner, I should say, and then Soto not getting time at all. So it'd be nice when we get these players in, like Bachman and Nielsen to come in too. Those are two right there. You could just throw into the starting 11 already. Boom, and they'll stay there. So
I cannot wait.
I
cannot wait.
it's gonna be. But man, I do want to mention the goals. We gave up 4. Okay, and the first one we talked about, it was just the cross came across and Campbell with the save, Sinclair with the goal, and Patterson wasn't watching her mark, so he's just whatever. The second one though, and the second and third one, right? Second and third one were just the defensive mistakes. You got to remember what the second one was like, but the third one was when Puttingham was just playing around and took too long, and Sophie Smith was able to steal the ball and took the keeper one-on-one. Ordonez did the same thing, but wasn't able to take on the keeper one-on-one, and her ball went out of bounds, and that would have been 2-2, and that could have changed the game, but it didn't happen, and then that's when Sophie Smith was able to do her thing. But the second one was ugly, the third one was ugly, and wasn't necessary. It didn't have to happen. The Dash are already struggling, and Soccer Gods didn't have to throw that on us, man. So I don't know if you remember both those goals.
I do. Poor giveaways. Portland was able to turn over the space very quickly, and then they got the ball in the back of the net. The one that pissed me off the most.
Second and fourth goal. Yes.
No, the one that pissed me off the most was the fourth goal.
Yeah.
And granted, the game was put away early, but at the same time, they essentially just gave the ball to Janine Becky to run it to the back of the net. And it was gross. Disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So the second one was Smith at the 29th minute with that steal and taking on Campbell to get that goal. And then, like you said, that disgusting one in the 96th minute, 6 minutes of extra time. Just a poor back pass. Easy steal giveaway. And she has enough pace where I think she was there in 3 steps and takes on Campbell, puts in the right ball in the back of the net, and ugly goal. So there's 2 goals you could have taken away, and Portland would have won this game only 2-1. You find the back of the net somehow. So if you can fix the little mistakes, fix the kinks, tighten the lug nuts, shut the doors, this team will be fine. We're just going to have to be patient and wait our turn. It will come.
Yep.
And the players are still coming in. So we're building the Lego set. We're just not ready to show it off yet, okay? Yeah, so patience, please. Dash fans. Patience. But, bro, all right. So we have, unless any other comments on the game?
Just gotta move on, man. Like it was a tough result, 100%. But the team's gotta stick together and stick to the project because at this point they're gonna have to believe in the coach and what he's building on. Like you said, the Lego set, and yeah, that's how they gotta roll. And hopefully the reinforcements come in very quickly because we're gonna need them.
And segue to go back to the Bombi Bomb. Deanna Ordonez was asked a question last night during the press conference, and I'm going to quote this through.
Yep.
This is through Eloy's tweet. I trust Fran Alonso. I trust the system. We're in a rebuild, whether you like it or not. You have to trust the process. I'm not in panic mode. Maria Sanchez is her friend, but this sounds like this was more addressed to the situation that's going on. She's not in panic mode. She understands the situation. She's showing out there that she's strong and she's behind the teams right there. So I don't think that was a shot at Maria. Matter of fact, I know it's not a shot at Maria, but it was brought up because of that. But her question. But I like her answer, man, and it explains to the fans we are in a rebuild, whether you like it or not. We have to trust the process. And I said work in process, but let's go back to trust the process. Since the Dynamo did it, now the Dash need to do it. Trust the project. I am not in panic mode. Thank you, Deanna Ordonez, for telling the fans that and making that clear. Thank you very much. Jesus.
Process the trust the process.
Yeah, right. Yeah, process the trust and trust the process. So, all right, baby. Let's just go through the NWSL scores real quick. Looks like there's still 2 games today. The Seattle Reign or the OLL Reign and the Chicago Red Stars still have to play. And Angel City hosts North Carolina Courage later on today. Today being Sunday. Of course, now we're tied with Portland Thorns with a 1-3-1 record with Thorns friggin' win. So we gave them their first win. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Kansas City. It's just going off. Portland's a good team, bro. I just want to say it's their first win. Like that's crazy. Not the crazy that the Dash gave it to them, but Kansas City 4-0-1, 5-2 over Bay City, bro. It's just tearing up the friggin' league. So our rivals is on top of the league, and they're going to try to run away with it and destroy the parity of the league that there is. So we don't like Kansas City Current right now. Racing Louisville with their first win. They started off with 4 ties this year. They won, bro, 5-1 with their first win. They beat the Utah Royals, which are 1-4. Also, Washington Spirit 2-0 over Gotham. Washington Spirit is 4-1. So I say somebody was trying to run away with it, but I lied because Washington Spirit are right there fighting with them. And then our Friday night game was Orlando Pride beat the San Diego Wave 1-0. So welcome Bombi to San Diego. Your team lost.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
yeah. So sorry, I stole your thunder, bro.
No, that's a good one.
So far as the standings, again, we're early, but we're sitting in 12th out of 14th. We've got 14th place Utah next on the schedule at Utah. And that game will be on Saturday night. It will conflict with the Dynamo again. That game is at 6:30, y'all. 6:30 on Saturday. So make sure y'all get
NWSL Plus.
NWSL Plus this time. Okay.
Yep.
And everybody got to do the Ion last time, so I'm glad we get to enjoy Ion because I can record it. I don't have to worry about the damn replay because I have it. So NWSL Plus, well, I'll have to look into that and see what the heck because we'll be in Dallas.
It's pretty easy.
Dynamo. Okay, good. So you can do
it's
the
pretty
replay.
easy. You do have to create an account, but it's free. There's no subscription fee. You don't have to create an account, and it saves all the replays, so you don't have to worry about recording it or anything.
Yeah, because I'm already in the NWSL account. I watch them live all the time. This would be the first time I'll need that replay. Well, maybe I'll watch the replay on the drive home for Frisco back that night. I will not. I'm just lying, y'all, by the way. But so Andres, man, that's the Dash segment. That's a lot of news that we went through, a lot going on, a lot of bad news. Wore my black for the funeral today, bro. But I pass it back to you, man. That's the Dash segment.
No, yeah, man. That's probably gonna do it and of course, like we mentioned earlier, Dynamo 2 did not play this week, but they're gonna be back against North Texas SC on the road,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, and we need that win, man. Come on, we need that win. Like, come on, I cannot do 5 losses in a row to start the year.
Disgusting.
That's
and
gross.
against a rival. So get that win, bro. Get that win. Hopefully follow suit with the Dynamo. We win, you win. Okay. Both games are in Dallas this weekend. So if you're up there for the both weekends, or if you're Tony that lives up there, Frisco and Dynamo on Saturday night at 7:30, and then you have North Texas and Dose at what time did we say? 7:30 at night as well, isn't it? Yeah, it's
For FC Dallas,
7:30,
yeah,
bro.
should be
North
7:30.
Texas and Dynados is 7:30 on Sunday night as well. So, you know how that sets our plans. But hopefully they can get their win, or we'll just
Yeah.
wash them out in next week episode if they want to go 0-5.
No, yeah, that's gonna be rough if that happens, but yeah, that should do it for this one, guys. As always, thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to share episodes, rate our podcast on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts whenever you get a chance. And as always, we do provide updates on Twitter, Instagram, and we do have a couple handles you can follow: Dynamic Foxtrot on either Twitter or Instagram, and also Noodle Tiempo on Twitter. And it's a good source. We do post a lot there. We try to post more videos more often, and yeah, just a lot of content so everyone can stay engaged. And yeah, just keep up with those updates. And as always, I'll support us as much as possible.
And check me out at the stadium. I don't know for some of y'all may have seen me, but I was all over the stadium yesterday, even with the opposing team, talking to their fans, but talking to our fans, getting around, getting pictures of the supporters, getting pictures that we could, talking to fans, just having a good old time and bringing the content as much as possible to keep y'all entertained. Hopefully, don't throw apples, throw peaches. They're softer, okay, if you don't like our content. But I leave it at that, Fox.
Yeah.
I leave it at that, brother.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in as always, and you know, stay real, y'all.